Attorney General urged to refrain from making statements on court cases. One man's Lamflaps business expands to fuel station. And Lae residents out in numbers for carols by the Lae.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Sunday's news. Directors of Petroleum Resource Gobe and landowners of the Gobe Petroleum Development License 3 and 4, known as the Gobe Project, have responded to statements made by the Attorney General on the 7th of December. The Attorney General's comments, as reported in the daily newspapers and social media, were in relation to royalty claim payments ordered by the courts and other issues surrounding royalty payments.
Through the Oil and Gas Act of 1998, 2% equity and royalty payment were to have been paid to landowners. However, there are now claims that over the years, royalties have been paid to the wrong people. This forced the landowner company representing landowners from Gobe in Southern Islands and Gulf provinces to take the state to court. In 2010, Petroleum Resource Gobe Chairman Philip Kende took the state to court for breaching the Oil and Gas Act over unpaid royalty benefits from the years 1999 to 2005.
Because it was a state, through the department secretary, that allowed the use of the royalty money to pay for the service providers and a few other costs that was involved in the Gobe project.
The court case was filed in 2014 after negotiations with the state failed to make any progress. After 4 years of pursuing the claim in court, PRG was granted judgment in its favor on the 18th of May 2018, and not when the Mining and Petroleum Investment Conference was held in Sydney. Chairman Kende said the state's decision to review this case in the Supreme Court and the state's absence in court has nothing to do with the directors of PRG and the landowners of Gobe.
So I went to court, and the final judgment is that we've successfully, the courts, there is a justice in courts that they've awarded 118 million, not 200 million, it's 180 million, to the Gobe landowners.
Gulf Governor Chris Iveta, who is also a director, called on the Attorney General to stop politicizing this case as it is insulting and offensive to the people of Gobe and the Southern Islands and Gulf provincial governments. Governor Iveta called on the Attorney General to instead direct his attention and resources to urgently facilitate the implementation of the outstanding Supreme Court order made in 2016, which requires the referral of the Gobe land ownership issue to the Land Titles Commission so that long outstanding issues can be resolved.
And I'm calling on the Minister to exercise his powers. I know that the submission has been sitting there. Why has he not taken that submission to NEC to appoint a special land court, a commissioner to go and hear and make a determination for these monies to be released?
The chairman and the Gulf governor also stressed on the specific roles of the Mineral Resource Development Company. The board of PRG stated that whilst MRDC may be state-owned, it has no influence or control over the decisions of corporate trustees, but only manages the commercial, financial, corporate and administrative affairs of Petroleum Resources Gobe, in accordance with the Oil and Gas Act. Isaiah Tare, National EMTV News.
Southern Highlands Governor William Powie and Gulf Governor Chris Iveta are calling for amendments to the 1998 Oil and Gas Act. As directors of Petroleum Resources Gobe, they want the Attorney General and the national government to support amendments that will ensure greater benefits for landowners.
The Petroleum Resources Gobe, through its governor directors, will be bringing forward an amendment to Section 159 and 168 in the Oil and Gas Act. This amendment will require that the project officers pay royalties directly to the corporate trustees for distribution instead of the state.
To amend these sections so that the royalties flow directly from the developers, bypassing the state directly to the corporate trustee and to MRDC.
Governor Iveta said in the mining industries, royalties are being paid directly from the operators to the landowners, so there should be no reason as to why similar arrangements should not be done for the petroleum sector.
Kind of cases will keep on cropping up year after year with all the landowners. Now that we've won, all the landowners will now start looking seriously at where the royalties have been going and whether they've been paid correctly or not. So to avoid this, we've set a precedent, and government has to learn from this. Not get involved in things that they should not be doing. They're here to deliver services to our people. Landowners things, give it to them. We've set up the law that protects their interests. Let the corporate trustees manage it directly.
The directors call for the government's support for these amendments as a solution to reduce the risk of a similar claim being made against the state in the future. Isaiah Tare, National EMTV News.
The success story of one man's lamp flaps retailing business in Western Highlands Province has progressed to a new fuel station. The service station and convenience store was officially opened on Friday by Trade and Commerce Minister Wera Mori. Minister Mori also pledged his support to ensure ordinary Papua New Guineans get into small and medium enterprise business.
Owner John Neville saw the high demand of lamb flaps in Western Highlands Province. Neville said Western Highlanders chose lamb flaps over other proteins for family meals. He started buying and reselling lamb flaps under his business name KANGE Freezers. KANGE Freezers was well known for selling the best lamb flaps in the early 2000s. Till recently, he expanded his business to fuel service station and convenience stores.
First business me started, me was buying sip na salim, me importing sip na salim na. Now time old man only look him name was KANGE Freezer blind the line all thing was me man was salim sip. All look him name KANGE Freezer also was sip. Think them all back said them also was sip.
Neville's success story in SME sector has brought the Trade and Commerce Minister Wera Mori to officially open Neville's new fuel service station.
The service station has been formally opened.
The service station, located along the Highlands Highway, lifts the standard of SME businesses in the province. Minister Wera Mori committed to build a SME office in Mount Hagen to support Western Highlanders and other Highlands provinces to invest more in SME activities.
So hopefully in the next, in 2019, I would like to see the chairman with his SME to basically start this process so that we can incubate businesses.
Starting next year, the Small and Medium Enterprises Corporation will be doing more awarenesses on SME so that little people are aware of such services. Small and Medium Enterprises Corporation Chairman Michael Mell is encouraging ordinary Papua New Guineans to start small and focus in doing their business in order to prosper.
And business starts in Western Highlands, I must tell all of you. Politics or another survey or when something, and another province in the country or on him.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more of the day's stories after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Last night was the final night. Fans, friends and family got to see the much-loved PNG gospel band PTUIF in concert live. The two-day event saw PTUIF celebrate their 25th year anniversary with those who have supported them over the years. Lead singer Pastor Peter Bogembo described the past 25 years as an amazing journey of God's grace.
Last night saw the Sir John Guy's indoor stadium packed to the brim. Fans, friends and families of the much-loved PNG gospel band P2UIF.
You are my life, you are my life. Your love is keeping me alive. Show me the way so I can say your love is keeping me alive.
flocked in to witness the band play for the last time in concert.
Just wanna thank you. You're second to none. I'll give you all glory that's due.
For a majority of those present, it had been a dream to see P2UIF play live. These three young men from Southern Highlands, who are also musicians, couldn't contain the excitement of seeing a dream become reality.
I really enjoyed the show, and you know, being one of the fans of P2UIF and playing music and growing up with a musical instrument, it was one of the dream come true moment in my life.
They've gone to the next level of modernization. This is something we've never seen, especially in the gospel music. And this is not the last, this is the beginning of P2UIF as the pace and the stage.
Melba, Marawanga. Yeah, I grew up in Hagen, so that was my favorite for the night.
And my favorite song is Fly, Eagle, Fly. I really love that song.
Yeah, mine is, I don't know the title, but You Gave Me a New Start. Yeah, that's the song.
You're the one I've been looking for to fill up my empty life. Since no one else could touch my heart like you do, only you could make the price.
This young woman had grown up hearing the songs and described last night as purely amazing.
P2UIF song, it was a blessing. It was a blessing back then listening to a lot of their songs. And it was a dream. It's a dream come true. I was always wishing that one day I could be attending the performances and concerts to see how it's like until today.
The band announced that they will be releasing an album in 2019, which will be recorded in Australia. The band will now be more focused on ministry as they venture out into the international arena.
Calling that was really what we were called to do.
It will be an all-out outreach, really. I think we have been guilty of just having programs for church, running everything for church and forgetting the world out there. So from after this chapter, we're just going all out.
Lilian Soperakinea, National EMTV News.
Lae residents gathered yesterday to witness their first carols by the lake. Families came from as far as East Raka and Nadzap to witness this event. The concert held at Raunwara Lake was also attended by Member for Lae, John Rosso, and Morbe Governor Ginson Sauno.
At about 5 p.m. yesterday, Lae residents started to gather by the lake for their first carols event. Lae MP John Rosso said he is proud of the people in Lae because their attitude have changed.
Our people have contributed immensely. Just the general attitude changes. I'm very impressed. I'd like to wish everyone in Lae, wherever you're from, but if Lae is home, Merry Christmas.
Besides the bad impression for Lae being the notorious town, the event was initiated purposely to see if the mindsets have changed. Residents of all ages came to witness the event and said they are happy about it. Lae Metropolitan Superintendent Anthony Wagambi said, in previous years, most residents do not attend events at night because of the doubts of safety and respect. Mr. Wagambi also added that he is very happy about the gathering.
Before the talk Lae and me place no rascal, place no crime. You me can send him.
The crowd was entertained with carols sung and danced to by choir groups, local singers and dancers. It lasted for 2 hours and ended at 9 p.m. Meanwhile, Morobe's provincial governor Ginson Saunu said next year he will improve the event and make it bigger.
Me amamaslang tawagaro sa Muslim provincial government layu long Lae City na 9th district of Morobe province. Me now committee 500,000 kina long improving this law long next year.
Philia Pisep, National EMTV News, Lae.
The Carols by the Lake event was to continue today, starting at 3 p.m. this afternoon, but that has now been cancelled. The announcement was made by Lae MP John Rosso on his official Facebook page. He said the venue was small compared to the huge turnout yesterday and that the safety and well-being of residents was a priority. He said they will be working to improve the venue and security, amongst others, to host better events in the future. The Christmas tree and the lights, however, will remain at Raunwara for the public to enjoy during the festive season. And MTV will host carols under the stars at the Sir John Guy Stadium on Sunday the 23rd of December. Tickets are now on sale at the MTV office, Level 2, Garden City, Morocco. Catholic churches in Lae now have a new bishop appointed by Pope Francis earlier this year. Bishop Rosario Menezes was ordained yesterday, succeeding former Bishop Christian Bluen. The new bishop will serve as head of the Catholic Church in Morobe. More than 17 bishops from around the country, as well as overseas, witnessed the ordination ceremony.
More than 1,000 people gathered yesterday to witness the ordination of the new bishop of the Diocese of Lae. Bishop Rosario Menezes is the third bishop ordained to serve the Catholic Church in Morobe. Bishop Rosario says he came with an open mind to serve the people.
So I have come with an open mind, open heart, open hands. First of all, to embrace this Diocese of Lae and people of Morobe.
Bishop Rosario Menezes from India has served many responsibilities within the Catholic Church in Papua New Guinea and overseas for many years. Prior to his ordination, he was the superior of the General Councillors of Missionaries to the Catholic Church of Papua New Guinea. Early October this year, he was appointed by Pope Francis as the Bishop of the Diocese of Lae. Former Bishop Christian Bluen congratulates Bishop Rosario and asks him to continue serving the people.
And I hope that my successor will continue in the same way, also that to be there and then to be with the families and to see that everybody will be free, have a good freedom and enjoy peace in their life.
The new Bishop Rosario urged the Catholic Church of Morobe to accept and support him in the years to come. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church also farewells former Bishop Christian Bluen for his long service. Maribor Negani, National EMTV News, Lae.
Water is essential for life. For a community in Port Moresby, access to clean fresh water is on the wish list again this Christmas. If this wish does not come true, 2018 will mark 10 years without clean fresh water for residents of Morata 4. Rosemary Yambune reports.
Morata 4 is located within the Moresby Northwest electorate. MTV News arrived to a scene where mothers and children were bathing and doing laundry in a sewage. It is a sewage, but the residents of Morata 4 call it a swamp. This swamp has been used by the community for many years as a water source for laundry and bathing. We asked them where they fetch clean water for drinking, and since it was Christmas, how they plan to celebrate without fresh water.
Side lomi misaka tamuan lomi yang buat kar misa go kisim water was outside kisim ligi water or drain nakambe.
Jonathan Afuti is the ward councillor for Ward 10, to which covers this part of Morata. Most families here pay to fetch water for drinking and cooking from nearby areas. This has been an ongoing issue for the people of Morata for close to a decade.
No, Christmas gift na bought is that way.
Recently, the residents received warnings from health authorities about polio outbreak, stopping residents of Morata 4 from using this swamp. But very few have heeded this warning from health authorities. Rosemary Yambune, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, it has been 6 weeks and Medang residents are still without water and no formal explanation from Water PNG. Residents have been vocal about the water problems they are facing. Martha Lewis reports from Medang.
Kalibobo resident Eugene Sumanop owns a Lightland guest house along the Kalibobo section. He needs constant supply of water to sustain his business operation as well as his family. For 6 weeks, he has been using an underground storage tank to collect rainwater. But today, he used the last amount of water in the tank.
A few days ago, I'm storage problem. I'm finished that.
Since emptying the last strip of the water stored, Sumanop now fetches water from a dugout well to use for washing. While he fetches seawater to flush out waste, he had to do this daunting task every day for both his family and guest who stays at the inn.
Side look na drink. Me to look around the family friends who said got lily gold stories all holding stuff in good faith or look giving me blah.
Sumanop and many residents have not been informed by Water PNG in Medang about the cause of the water problem faced for almost 6 weeks now.
No, I don't talk so when we can saw now and prepare or it's like an adjust me play it. It's very dangerous now, very risky.
Medang Business Center manager advised EMTV in an email they had put in a smaller capacity pump to assist the other 2 pumps which are not pumping enough water. Water PNG headquarters notified Medang residents that the major factors affecting water supply is due to the buildup of thick silt in the compartment of the water pumps. This has reduced the water flow up to the treatment plant and has resulted in the wear and tear of the water pump impellers, affecting the provision of water and sewer services to residents. Adding the restoration of full services is work in progress depending on the availability of parts and new pumps in stock, and assured public it should be completed shortly. Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Medang.
You're watching National EMTV News this Sunday. We go for a break. When we come back, we take a look at stories making headlines overseas. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Turning overseas now, after 2 weeks of talks and 2 years of work, consensus has finally been reached in Poland on an international rulebook to tackle climate change. Nearly 200 countries overcame political divisions to support the implementation of the 2015 Paris Agreement, aiming to limit a rise in average full temperatures to well below 2 degrees Celsius.
This is what it's all about. Gases released into the air that heat the planet. And after some long, difficult arguments, the world has inched towards a deal for how to reduce them, to try to avoid the risks of dangerous levels of warming in future. The talks at Katowice in Poland saw delegates from nearly 200 countries haggling over rules for how to tackle climate change. A slow process, but eventually a deal was done. The Polish official chairing the talks was incredibly relieved. He was urged to take a bow. But there are questions about what's actually been achieved. The big challenge is that many countries, including Poland, rely on highly polluting fuels like coal. Thousands of jobs depend on them. Some campaigners say a few governments dragged their feet, but others are pleased to have got this far.
We've seen countries come together, they've responded to the science, they haven't done enough, but they have done what's possible here. They've lent in, they've agreed some rules, and they've set themselves a job to go home and do more and work out what they're going to do, engaging with their citizens, their businesses, their investors to say, how can we take more climate action?
The hope is for a transition to cleaner forms of energy like solar power. The deal in Poland may encourage that. the world is responding to the threat of global warming, but not nearly with the speed that scientists say is needed.
Concessions from President Emmanuel Macron are not stopping the Yellow Vest protesters in France. Demonstrators hit the streets for the 5th straight weekend. Most were peaceful, but some protests did turn into violent clashes with police.
Another day of pandemonium in the heart of Paris. It was thought this Saturday's protest might be smaller after President Emmanuel Macron's latest concessions, among them raising the minimum wage, and after the Strasbourg terrorist attacks. Yet several thousand Yellow Vest protesters braved the bitter cold to return to the Champs-Élysées. Jacques, 66 years old, is protesting for the first time in his life. Macron, he says, has not given us a crumb of what we demand. We can't live this way. Those demands include the introduction of Swiss-style popular referendums, lower taxes, and dignity. We want to work to please ourselves, not just to survive, says Sylvain. The day's demonstrations began largely peacefully. By afternoon, however, the boulevard was thick with tear gas and chants for the president to resign.
Bonjour, ici c'est la guerre. C'est la guerre.
Some tearing up the cobblestones for the battle, not eager for attention. 8,000 members of the security forces were deployed in Paris Saturday, far outnumbering the demonstrators. Gilles, a protester, tells the riot police they should switch sides and don yellow vests. Today they're here, but we have to ask, where is this going, he says. Will they hold? For how long? We can see they're tired. They shoot for nothing. Maybe for nothing, but shoot gas they did.
This is Act 5, the 5th consecutive week of protests here, and it doesn't appear, even though the numbers are smaller, that the protests are in any sense coming to an end.
Greece has intercepted a massive drug haul valued at more than $166 million in a Syrian ship bound for Libya.
Around 6 tons of processed cannabis and 3 million super-strength Captagon amphetamine pills were found inside containers under false floors and concealed between layers of coffee, spices and wood shavings. Captagon became known as a stimulant drug for ISIS fighters and also a fundraising tool for the group. The ship and its crew have been seized.
New Zealand is struggling to cope with a number of homeless people fueled by a rise in rents. One area that was historically accessible and had affordable housing is now squeezed on rentals and cutting many people out.
For this new resident of Lower Hutt, having a normal Christmas isn't an option this year.
I had to leave my housing situation, I had to leave my job, I had to leave my supported community that I was living in and that I had brought my kids up in. I had to leave my family just in order to be safe.
Women's Refuge helped her escape after being left in hospital from an abusive relationship. She's in temporary accommodation now, her daughter and son also in the same one bedroom.
It's been really hard just because of the affordability of the houses around the Lower Hutt. They're just not realistic for me as a single mum.
Women are needing a bed through the local refuge for longer and demands increased.
We're appealing to the hearts of people because if some landlords would be prepared to offer their places at a lower price, that would make it affordable.
The only option left for this woman, Housing New Zealand.
Been on that housing list for 6 months now.
And she's not alone. In the 12 months till June, the Lower Hutt public housing wait list increased by 85%.
I have nephews sleeping in the doorway over there, one down under the bridge or down over there in the tent. There's a couple live by Salvation Army.
This Epuni site is one of several Housing New Zealand is planning to build on. It says in the next 3 years there will be an extra 270 state homes in Lower Hutt, but the local council says that alone doesn't meet the need.
Response to homelessness and the situations that people are enduring now in Lower Hutt.
The council's creating a homeless strategy, saying emergency accommodation grants have nearly doubled from this time a year ago.
We need more suitable temporary accommodation for people to stay in so that they're not in hotels.
A proposed action plan on how the council will help will be delivered next March.
You're watching National EMTV News. We go for a break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports, including results from the Ipatas Cup Southern Region matches. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Two rugby league finals of the Southern Region qualifiers for the Coca-Cola Ipatas Cup will take place next weekend. This follows the round-robin matches which ended today. Godwin Eki with the details.
In Game 4 today, Erima Wanderers took on Waigani Irelai that saw strong performances from both teams. A lack of effort in defence by the Wanderers paved way for Irelai to score in the 7th minute with a successful conversion. Wanderers quickly regrouped with a few player interchanges to beef up defence while attacking their opponent. With a strong defence in place for the Wanderers, it was difficult for Irelai to cross the try line again in the first half. First half score, Irelai 6, Wanderers 0. In the second half, the game got even tougher as both teams attacked and defended with great intensity. With 5 minutes left on the clock, Wanderers' last-ditch efforts in attack paid dividends with their winger crossing the try line. The conversion unsuccessful, with the game ending in favour of Irelai 6 points to 4.
Top teams for its first and second in the pools. We will have by today we'll have eight teams left. They will play on Friday. Thursday will be the Central Talents, and they will play on Friday afternoon when the Central Talents playoffs, the pool play in the morning part. So this is where we'll round out. They will play the preliminary finals. The top 8 will play, which is next week Friday. And on Saturday we'll have semi-finals for both talents, and in the afternoon we'll play the grand final for the winners. So we'll have one for NCD and one rep for Central Talents. So one gold passage.
The top 2 winners from each of the 4 pools progress to the quarter-finals with a chance of progressing to the preliminary finals and grand final, all set to take place next weekend at the Sejongai Stadium. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Still on the Coca-Cola Ipatas Cup, in a match yesterday, 2016 Cup winners Paga Panthers won their second match in Pool A, overcoming a scare from a familiar team from their suburb, the 2-4 Thunder Warriors.
Same suburb, 2 different teams, Paga Panthers and 2-4 Thunder Warriors. In the Port Moresby Rugby League, the players play for the Panthers, who won the 2016 Ipatas Cup in Wabeg. But in the southern leg and city challenge of the Coca-Cola Ipatas Cup, the players who hail from Gerahu have split into 2 different teams. The seniors playing for the Paga Panthers and the juniors part of the 2-4 Thunder Warriors.
That's our under 20, and some of the boys they were not in the squad. And it went and played with 2-4 Warriors. That's another team from Gerahu. So they know our game plan and they come really tough on us.
The juniors giving a scare to the Paga Panthers. A close game with strong runs, hard hits that went down to a field goal deciding the match.
We didn't expect that game this afternoon, but they really stepped up.
Former Hunters fullback Junior Bobby was key in the early surge by the Warriors. An inside ball by Junior finding centre Winyai Pupu, who broke through for a 15-meter unconverted try for a 4-0 lead. the Warriors stood firm in defense, denying the Panthers any hope of an early try. Bobby's shot ball to Yaipupu, adding to his second try. A missed conversion, leaving the score at 8-0. Panthers halfback and former Hunters Roger Lae rallying his players for an unconverted try to winger JB Dom. A try by fullback Jack Coy, tying the scores at 8-8. Panthers halfback Jeffrey Parra slotting a 40-meter goal to save the Panthers from defeat to a young Warriors team.
Game against our brothers from 2-4 really almost neck to neck, but we able to get a last-minute field goal that let us out.
Panthers coach Joe Sipa highlighting the leadership of Roger Lae as a key part of the Panthers Ipatas Cup campaign.
He's the key man in the field that helping the boys out, so it's really good for the team.
Fideli Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
Still to come on Trukai Sports, we'll have some action from boxing and football after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To some sport overseas, and in boxing, Joseph Parker's Mr. Nice Guy image turned vicious with a knockout win against Mexican-American Alexander Florence in Christchurch. Flores claims he was targeted with illegal shots below the belt.
A brutal finish.
He's hurt badly. He hit his head on the ring canvas.
To a fight Joseph Parker was willing to win by any means necessary.
Alexander seems to think I hit him low 3 or 4 times. I know I hit him once, but that's a fight game.
A game he's now played long enough to know getting back to the top will take a bit of mongrel.
I mean, it is what it is. I fought in his hometown. He was favored of the judges and the ref too.
So there's a referee that does his job, and judges, all I do is throw the punches and make them land.
Either way, Parker's 19th knockout, his first in more than 2 years, definitely has people talking.
Now we can start planning 2019 and Joseph Parker's on his journey back to becoming world heavyweight champion again.
And while a fight against one of the top heavyweights might still be a while away, he certainly hasn't lost his support.
Everyone's still supporting us even with the ups and downs. And it's good to see everyone here. We finished the year off with an up.
The same goes for fellow heavyweight Junior Fa, who took less than 90 seconds to stop his opponent. And former warrior Manu Vatuvei is now seriously considering a long-term boxing career after flooring the brown butterbean in just 30 seconds.
The football and the Wellington Phoenix have scored rare back-to-back wins in the A-League, but it's the referee protests that's the talk of the competition.
The Phoenix have beaten the winless Central Coast Mariners 2-0 in Wellington, thanks to first-half goals from Louis Fenton and Sapreet Singh. Officials across the weekend have covered up the Respect logo on their shirts in protest against comments made by Phoenix coach Mark Rudan a fortnight ago.
Thanks for your question, Liam. I've got nothing to say. I've thought they did well today.
Avoiding it, the Phoenix have roared up to 5th on the ladder.
Sometimes in sport, even at the highest level, things just don't go quite your way. Luckily, there's always someone who has been there, done that, to put you in your place. Here's some sporting moments from this week.
Manners can get you a long way in life, and it'd pay not to forget them, especially when you're a 17-year-old fronting the media alongside football legend Thierry Henry.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
If a telling off from Henry was bad, then this Charlotte Hornets player learned the hard way not to run on court and celebrate too early. A technical foul was the least of his worries. Yep, a clip around the ear from the GOAT, Michael Jordan. One way to ensure that'll never happen again. That's commitment to discipline and commitment to keeping the ball alive by Matthew Dellavedova.
I believe I can fly.
Here comes Dilly. Here comes Dilly. Tried to save him.
Clean up courtside, we've got some commentary notes all over the show.
This goalie was a little all over the show in the Europa League, and this Steadicam operator in the NFL can probably join that group too. This Aussie Sevens player was down and out after this Nanai Saturo masterclass.
In New Zealand, this is what you call getting waxed, not even touched.
The New England Patriots looked like they were playing touch, letting the Miami Dolphins in for a game-winning touchdown with time up on the clock. Not so much miraculous as a masterclass in Perth. Virat Kohli, magical with the bat, not too bad in the field either.
Look at the stretch from Virat Kohli, that's an absolute classic. He's pretty happy with it too.
And Tim Southey kicking off the New Zealand summer in style.
Very close indeed and gone. Oh, is that an edge? It is an edge, yes. Aerial and gone. Oh dear, that is poor.
And long may it continue.
And that ends Trukai Sports for this evening. We go for a quick break, and when we come back, we take a look at the weather for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Now look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Mostly fine for Olatau with a top temperature of 32 degrees, cloudy and some showers expected in Popondetta, Kerema, Daru and Port Moresby. To the Momasa region, fine weather expected in Lae, some showers in Wau, cloudy and some showers expected in Madang, thunderstorms expected over the next 24 hours for Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy with some showers in Lorengau, cloudy and some showers as well for Kavieng, fine becoming cloudy for Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly fine for Kimbe, partly cloudy for Buka. And in the Highlands region, cloudy with some showers expected in all the major centres, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg. We'll look at the forecast for small ships, but first there is a renewal of a strong wind warning for all coastal waters. For all coastal waters of southern Fiji Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerema, Yule Island, Hood Point and to Samurai Island, please be aware winds can be a further percent stronger than the average given here, and maximum waves may be up to twice the height. All small craft and boats are advised to take the necessary precautions before and after going out to sea. To look at this forecast for small ships, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerema, Yule Island, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Yule Island to Hood Point and Samurai Island, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Island, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel, Finchafen, and waters of Finchafen through Vitias and Dampier Strait to CRC Island to Long Island, and waters of Manos and its western group of islands, and waters of New Island to east and western Britain and Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Long Island to Medang, Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo, and the northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.2 meters. A look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea, seas rough with west to northwesterly winds at 25 to 34 knots. Solomon Sea, seas light with south to southwesterly tending clockwise winds from 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas light with west to northwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. And the Pacific Ocean, seas light with northwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the way it is today, Sunday, the 16th of December 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team right around the country, have a safe working week, pleasant viewing, good night.